good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. I'm Rob Evans, and welcome to Daybreak Plus. We're breaking down all the news that you might have missed overnight, and we're digging deep into what matters to you. We begin with politics. Less than a month now left in the 89th Texas legislative session, and Governor Greg Abbott has signed a historic bill creating education savings accounts for Texas families. You see right here, he signed Senate Bill 2 at the governor's mansion in Austin Saturday. It is now law, a $1 billion program to let families use taxpayer money to pay private school tuition. It will be the largest school voucher law in the nation. Now, most students would get about $10,000 per year. Kids with disabilities get up to $39,000. Homeschool students get $2,000. Students who are low income or have disabilities do get priority. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says this program is going to give families more power to choose where their kids go to school. Take a listen.
But the war is not over. There will be a vote on vouchers, and he can't stop it, and it will be in November 2026.
And that was State Rep Gina Hinojosa, who was actually in opposition to that bill there, or the law now. The opponents unveiled a banner just down the street saying the program will widen the gap in education. The Texas legislature also working to boost public school funding this session. Bills to increase teacher pay and the basic allotment per student are still in committee. Now, KVUE's Isabella Basco did talk with staff at a private school in San Marcos about how this could affect classrooms.
Since the start of the 89th legislative session, San Marcos Baptist Academy President Dr. Brian Gunther says his staff has been getting more calls than ever before.
I have faculty and staff members who work here who said they grew up in San Marcos and they would have loved to go to the academy, but there was no way they could come to the academy.
Dr. Gunther says the state's Education Savings Accounts program creates more opportunities for potential students. But the ESA program has drawn criticism. State Representative Gene Wu from Houston says it hurts public schools.
Where's the stuff for our local schools? Where's the stuff for our teachers? Where's the stuff for us?
The program would support up to 80,000 eligible students. Dr. Gunther says he expects the program to boost private schools.
80,000 is just a really small drop in the bucket. I think we'll see some rise in enrollment in private schools in some larger urban areas like Houston, like Dallas.
Dr. Gunther says it will help their financial aid dollars go further.
We see nothing but good things coming out of this, both for public and for private. We have one common goal, and that's to educate kids. And we want to be a vessel for that.
And Dr. Gunther also leads the Texas Private Schools Association. He says they're going to train parents on how to go through the ESA process. Academy staff plans to host one of those meetings for the Central Texas area. Well, this morning, the campaign trail continues in the city of Bastrop, the mayoral race heading to a runoff election. Lyle Nelson resigned from his position in January because of allegations of misuse of public funds. 3 people ran to take his spot. Willie De La Rosa, he got 34% of the vote. Ward Northcutt got 17% of the vote, rather. Ismail Harris got 48.6%. Problem is you need a simple majority to be declared a winner, 50% plus 1. Since nobody got 50%, voters are going to have to go back and pick either Willie De La Rosa or Ismail Harris in a runoff. The race will be June 7th. The winner will finish out the remainder of former Nelson's term, which is through next May. You can find all of Saturday's May election results right now on KVUE.com/elections. Well, it is now 7:04. Let's take a look at weather and traffic with Casey and Hannah. Casey, how's it looking out there today?
You know what? I mean, we had a beautiful weekend. I hope you soaked in that sunshine, the cooler mornings that we had. But beginning today, we're going to start to see the return of some showers and storms. And into tomorrow, where also we're going to be tracking the potential of some severe weather making a comeback. In fact, as we head into especially tonight and tomorrow morning, I am declaring it a weather impact alert day, as we will be looking at a heightened risk to see some of these severe storms with all severe weather modes possible. So make sure you have a way of getting those alerts. Great thing to download would be the KVUE app, where they give you those localized alerts and warnings if they are issued. You can also have that weather radio and also tune in right here to KVUE and KVUE Plus, as we will be tracking these all through the night and into tomorrow morning. As for right now, we're currently off to a pretty quiet start. We could be looking at a little bit of drizzle up towards the hill country, but most of us just a cloudy sky. We're tracking some moisture out towards the Rio Grande Valley. This is going to be pushing in from the southwest, and this will be our source of showers and storms today. Now turning tonight and tonight and into tomorrow, this is what our weather maker will be. Very similar to what we had actually last week. Another area of low pressure about 18,000 feet high in the atmosphere will start to push over the Texas panhandle as we head into tomorrow, and that will bring us the stronger potential of some strong severe thunderstorms. Today's risk level 1 out of 5 for the metro area. Hill country, you're looking at that increasing to a level 2, but especially as we head into tonight. Tomorrow, notice all of us under that level 2 out of 5 risk for those strong severe storms. So tomorrow is going to feature the better potential of seeing all modes of severe weather. And again, I think the time frame here, the main time frame, is going to be beginning late tonight and into about the first half of tomorrow, so during the morning hours. Right now, cloudy sky, the sun is up, temperatures at 63 degrees, both at the airport and Camp Mabry. We'll continue with the mostly cloudy sky today. Heading into later this morning and early this afternoon, we will start to see some spotty areas of rain develop, and then eventually some thunderstorms a little bit later on, where we could be looking at some small hail producers, some heavy rain, some gusty winds. Can't quite rule out an isolated strong severe storm today, but again, the better potential is going to be overnight and into tomorrow morning. So timing this out, notice we'll start to see some stronger storms enter into the hill country heading into tonight, and this will continue to work its way from west to east. By around 6:30, stopping the clock, the morning commute across the I-35 corridor, it could be a little bit dicey. We're talking about some heavy rain potential. Large hail will certainly be a possibility, along with some gusty, damaging winds. And again, within this, can't quite rule out an isolated tornado. That severe weather threat will continue with that shift from west to east, eventually pushing out across the coastal plains closer to about 8, 9, 10 o'clock. And then we'll actually start to see this wind down as we head into later on tomorrow. I think the better severe weather potential will be for the first half of the day, and then we'll start to see things calm down by Tuesday late in the afternoon, Tuesday evening, and certainly by Wednesday, where we no longer have a severe weather potential. For tomorrow's hail risk, we're at a 15% chance of hail. The black lines, the hatch lines that you see, indicating a higher chance of seeing hail of 2 inches in diameter or greater. So that threat for very large hail certainly is there. We have that wind threat for tomorrow, and that tornado threat, it's low but not completely zero at a 5% across the I-35 corridor and out across the coastal plains. Today's forecast, we're back to 75 degrees for high temperatures. It's going to be a little bit cooler than average today. Tomorrow, we see that severe weather potential coloring it red for weather impact alert day. We'll start to see that severe risk wind down heading into late Tuesday. And then for the rest of the week, we'll start to see some improvements. Still some spotty showers and storms on Wednesday, but we are not looking at severe weather risk at that point. Thursday and Friday, even drier and just in time for mom on the weekend for Mother's Day. Should be beautiful, mostly sunny and dry with highs in low to middle 80s.
Thank you so much, Casey. What a beautiful weekend it was, but I have to admit the timing of the potential for those storms tomorrow during that morning commute, that is going to be tough when we have so many people out on the roadways. So just be sure to keep it tuned in. We're going to get you to work and school safely together and giving those live updates into the evening into tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at what we got cooking right now on our roads. So we've already have our slowdowns in the northbound lanes. This is a live look out at Slaughter. There is a crash working in that area that is only impacting frontage road travel right now. So there is an active crash right there at Slaughter Lane and Boggy Creek Drive. And as you can kind of see, it's already really lighting up red through this area in the northbound lanes. But you can get by right now in those main lanes. But that frontage road, pretty much all of those lanes are blocked right now because of that. And then it looks like we also have something else developing heading out towards Buda in those southbound lanes. So really kind of both sides of the highway right now as we are waking up in South Austin. So going to keep my eye on this for you. Already also got some stop and go approaching the Miller area and heading towards DKR Stadium. Looks like some stop and go near airport. On top of that, good morning, Pflugerville. We do have an active crash right now causing some slowdowns in the westbound lanes at West Pflugerville Parkway, where it meets with Green Lawn Boulevard. The good news is that travel is looking pretty good along I-35 through that Pflugerville area right now. But as you can see, definitely slowing down starting in Round Rock. We got some stop and go there heading southbound. Mainer's feeling some slowdowns as well. Buda, 27 miles per hour in the northbound lanes at 34 minutes will get you out the door there. So kind of seeing area-wide slowdowns, but as far as our typical crash count for a Monday morning, we've been in pretty good shape. But once again, I'm a little concerned with that storm timeline for tomorrow's commute. So plan accordingly. We're going to have a lot of kids and people out, heading to school tomorrow. So we'll let you know how everything looks like it's going to be shaping out. And I still have some leftover bluebonnet pictures. And of course, we've got Mother's Day coming up. So if you guys get any beautiful wildflower pictures or just really any Texas pictures, I love to show them. And this is sent in from Jay Madrano, and this is Obi, and nothing better than a little pit bull out in the blue bonnet. So love to see it. Everyone stay safe out there. Rob, I'm going to send it back to you now.
Hannah, thank you very much. Historic preparations begin in Italy, the Vatican, preparing for the conclave to elect a new pope. It's just not the faithful only who are paying close attention, though. Thousands of people are actually betting on who will be the next pope. That's right, betting. They range from cash bets on websites to online games that are kind of like fantasy football leagues. And according to some experts, gambling in the future of the papacy is gaining steam across the globe. Here's ABC's Allison Kosick.
This morning, the countdown to the conclave. Cardinals preparing to meet Wednesday to begin the process of electing a new pope. In the meantime, betting on the top contenders has become big business. Global betting sites now taking in a collective $19 million from the thousands of people gambling on the future of the church. Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin is eyed as a top contender. He's the Vatican Secretary of State leading the conclave. One betting site estimating he has a nearly 35% chance of becoming the next pontiff. Others eyeing Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle as the odds-on favorite.
I think one of the interesting things about Cardinal Parolin is that he knows the Vatican bureaucracy so well. And so for so many people who are calling for reform of the Vatican Curia, right, for streamlining it, he would be the one to do it.
Just like all the side bets during the Super Bowl, there are side bets surrounding the conclave, including how long the process will take and what nationality the Pope will be.
I wouldn't be surprised if it would be an African or Asian cardinal, because somehow that's where the church is more alive, more dynamic.
Conclaves in recent history have been short. Both Pope Francis and Pope Benedict were elected in 2 days, Pope John Paul II in 3. But some think this one could take longer.
We don't know each other so closely, but hopefully in a few days we will come closer to a good decision.
Most conventional sports books in the U.S. refrain from offering odds on papal elections for both legal and ethical reasons, but researchers in Rome have traced gambling on the Pope back to the 16th century. Allison Kosick, ABC News, New York.
Turning now to an outbreak of measles here in Texas. The Department of State Health Services expected to give another update on those illnesses tomorrow. Just last week, on Friday, Tarrant County in North Texas announced 2 confirmed cases of measles, the first cases in that area. It happened in an unvaccinated adult and a child living in the same home. It's unclear if those cases are tied to a growing number of measles cases out of West Texas. But again, right now, 683 total cases in West Texas, 20 more cases since last Tuesday. And speaking of that right there, measles, medical bills can be a financial burden for a whole lot of people. They're hard to navigate, especially if your bill is quite frankly confusing or if it's inaccurate. Maybe you were overcharged. It does happen. And when you can't read the bill with all these codes, what does this mean? What do? Well, you do have options. ABC's Zareen Shah has some tips.
After his 5-year-old son had to go to the emergency room, James Easling was inundated with medical bills.
Initially, there was just that relief of knowing my son's okay. And then the bills started to come in the mail, came in from different departments and sometimes multiple bills for the same service. And it was just kind of it was a lot to deal with.
Clifford Cook had a similar experience after a medical event put him in the ER.
The ER nurse, you get a bill from there. You get a bill from the ER doctor. They did a CAT scan. That was another bill. You get, so like you're trying to make sense of it all too, which is nearly impossible because there's so many line items.
Both James and Clifford turned to HealthLock, a paid subscription service that audits and verifies healthcare transactions.
On the one bill that was close to $20,000, they were able to get that bill reduced by, I think, over $13,000.
Founder and CEO of HealthLock, Scott Speranza, says it is not uncommon for medical bills to have errors.
There's definitely a financial impact, whether it's a denied claim, a partially denied claim, whether it's an upcharge, a code that should not have been used.
Although you can use companies like HealthLock, Goodbill, and Medical Cost Advocate, Speranza says that you do not need to pay for professional services. You can dispute your medical bills on your own. Start by contacting the medical office you went to, which Speranza says will be easier than dealing with your insurance company, and negotiate the bill based on the cash rate amount.
If I did not have insurance, what would you charge me? That's a good place to start because that's going to give you a baseline. And so if it was the cash pays $500 for the MRI and they're charging $2,500, why? And using that basis as a factual point to then build a case.
Speranza says these negotiations can be difficult, and although there is no guarantee you'll be able to lower your bill, using a third-party service may be beneficial. Clifford says he was able to get his bill down 10% by negotiating on his own, but he adds that he got a better outcome by opening a claim through his HealthLock subscription.
At the end of the day, they saved me 25%.
Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's absolutely outrageous, the fact that an MRI might be $500 if you don't have insurance, but if you pay $1,000 a month to have insurance, then you got to pay thousands of dollars for the MRI, this healthcare system. All right, I digress. Let's talk about other financial things. This is the good financial thing, having a lot of money. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the history of the world, is retiring. The man known as the Oracle from Omaha plans to step down as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has more on the man who's considered one of the most successful investors of the 20th century.
Warren Buffett's net worth these days is about $169 billion. But even at age 94, his announcement that he's retiring at the end of the year came as a shock to his shareholders this weekend.
You can feel people were upset. So it was heartbreaking.
The legendary investor, known for drinking 5 cans of Coke per day and living in the same house in Omaha since 1958, took questions from people in the audience, old and young, looking for advice. Buffett saying when it comes to success, it's all about the people in your life.
You want to hang out with people that are better than you are.
He spoke about the pressing issue of the day, tariffs and the global economy.
Trade should not be a weapon, and I think it's led to bad things. Just the attitudes it's brought out.
And he spoke about American exceptionalism.
If I were being born today, I would just keep negotiating in the womb until they said you can be in the United States.
His achievements are staggering. Over the last 60 years, Buffett generated returns of about 5.5 million %, compared to the S&P 500's 39,000% return. Now the world's 5th richest person, perhaps Buffett's biggest accomplishment is longevity. He was asked the key to living a long life.
I like to attribute it to this and a few other things, but I think a happy person lives longer than somebody that's doing some things that they don't really admire that much.
As for investing, Buffett long followed advice from his late business partner, Charlie Munger. He said, forget about buying fair businesses at wonderful prices. Instead, buy wonderful businesses at fair prices. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Sounds like good advice. Hey, it's happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way. The Mexican holiday celebrates the day that the Mexican army defeated the French back in 1862. But no, it is not Mexican Independence Day. A lot of people say that, but it's not. Some people enjoying the day with a margarita or two, but please remember, be responsible. Do not get behind the wheel. And we leave you this morning with something to talk about. The force was strong in an Austin museum over the weekend. The Bullock Museum hosted its Star Wars Day celebration on, of course, Sunday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Fans from across the galaxy could get photos with characters and make their own paper lightsabers and make their own Yoda ears. They got in for free thanks to HEB Free First Sunday. Kristen Johnson works at the museum and talked about the excitement around the day.
In the Austin area, there are so many different costume organizations with Star Wars, and a lot of them go to hospitals, schools, and they are just a very charitable organizations who spend their time trying to make families happy and do a great job doing that.
And the museum's next HEB Free First Sunday events will honor the Juneteenth holiday. And also to celebrate Star Wars holiday, let's get local about some people doing their best impersonation, shall we? The city of Cedar Park asked some of its employees to do their best Wookiee impression. Some are better than others. Take a listen.
Do another one. Do it again.
Give it up for that last guy who literally just risked his life to give you a Wookiee impression. It's a choking threat there. That's it for Daybreak Plus. Let us know what you'd like to talk about. Text us at 512-459-9442, 512-459-9442. You can also message me if you'd like on social media at Rob Evans TV on Insta, Facebook, or X. I'm going to have that Wookiee stuck in my brain all day long. Stick around because Daybreak continues right here on KVUE Plus. Goodbye, everybody.